done?
So again, as long as we get these in the right amounts, we can still make fat a healthy part of our diet. And what fat does, normally we kind of think insulation. It provides an energy storage. It also does some other things. It makes up some really important chemicals in our body for weight and health maintenance and function. So again, normally we kind of think of fat, we think of energy storage or insulation, but it has a lot of other, it makes hormones in our body. It helps with brain function, memory. So that has a very, very important role in the body, and it should not be omitted just because of what you read in magazines or preconception that you have about it. It's actually a very essential nutrient. So that's it for the macronutrients. So again, 3 macronutrients: carbohydrates. Those are what gives us our energy for our exercise overall. Then we have proteins, which is used to rebuild and for structure. And then we have fat, which is used for insulation, for also creating things in our bodies.
And then no the fat, the unsaturated versus saturated. Again, no good or bad foods, but unsaturated, you definitely want to be, of your fat content, you want to have more unsaturated, and we'll talk about what types of foods those are, and less saturated. The current USDA guidelines do say that you should have less than 10% of your calories from saturated fat. Obviously, that's going to vary person to person depending on how many calories you're taking in, but that's a really small amount. So that would be things like butter and cheeses, and then other healthier fats like oils and things like that are unsaturated. You can have a little bit more of those.
So there is one other, I don't know what, compound out there that does provide us with energy. It's not a macronutrient. It does give us 7 kilograms of calories for 7 calories per gram, but it does not provide us with any other benefit. No benefits to that. Micronutrients. So we saw macronutrients. Micronutrients are smaller compounds. These are our vitamins and our minerals. So just like we saw with the macronutrients, in terms of vitamins, we have 2 different types: water-soluble and fat-soluble. So again, here we see that again, that's necessary for absorbing those specific types of vitamins. The fat-soluble vitamins are A, D, E, and K. And a lot of those vitamins are used as friends of the macronutrients. That's the best way to put it. So, for example, with the water-soluble vitamins, a big group of water-soluble vitamins are the B vitamins, thiamine, niacin. Those B vitamins are primarily found in carbohydrates, in grains. And there's a whole lot of grains, right, as far as our food supply goes. Well, the whole reason why they're there is they help with carbohydrate metabolism. So they're there as kind of like a helper for the carbohydrates to get into our system and function. So vitamins are just as important as macronutrients. We just need them in smaller amounts than our macronutrients. We don't have to get too wrapped up in the amounts there. Minerals. So that's kind of a funny word. Minerals are like our calcium, iron, magnesium, right? And again, these minerals also work with the macronutrients to maintain healthy overall function.
Also really important in hydration and water balance. So this is like your minerals, that's like your stereotypical electrolytes that you think of too.
Yep. So these magnesium would be a type of an electrolyte, right? And then we have calcium and iron that provide things like bone health, sustain our bone health, and sustain our blood health. So that about covers the micro and macronutrients. Are there any questions up to this point on? That was like a crash course.
Oh, and water
nutrition.
included in this as well.
Oh, yep. So
very important.
It's very important to stay hydrated. And again, this might be like TMI or a little gross, but one way that you can measure your hydration status to find out whether or not you need more or less water is to monitor the color of your urine. And one thing to remember, and I thought this was very clever from Chelsea, is lemonade, not apple juice. Gross.
Yeah.
Right? But you'll remember that.
You'll remember it now. I heard it, like, not even in a nutrition course, and it's stuck with me ever since, because it's true. Especially, first void in the morning is a really good way to monitor your hydration status, because you're not drinking for, you know, let's say, hopefully 7 to 9 hours if you're getting adequate sleep. But at least 6 hours, right? And that's a good way to tell if your first void in the morning is really dark. That's a good sign that you're underhydrated.
And if that icks you out, you can also just kind of weigh yourself before and after your workouts and monitor your weight before and after workouts. If you're losing a lot of weight, then you know you need to up your hydration of your water intake after your
If you
workout.
lose 2 pounds in a 2-hour workout, that's not fat, that's not muscle. You lost water weight through sweating, right? So that's something that you would want to replenish. Okay, so macronutrients. So we just went over our big energy providing macros. So we've got carbohydrates, that's the abbreviation that we use. So I'll do pro for protein. I don't know where I picked that up, but I like that one. Fat. Okay. So what are some examples of carbohydrates? The big ones. What do you guys know? Rice. Did I hear pasta? Yeah. Bread. Yeah. Anything else? Fruit and veg will come in this category as well, even though your starchy vegetable is high in carbohydrates, but you know, lettuces and things like that, not so much, we'd still categorize it. It doesn't really belong in any of the other categories. Protein, big ones, fish. We had said meat before. Eggs. So nuts is going to go here. And actually, eggs can go here too. Anything else? Beans. Okay. Anything else? All right, so I put this here because this is our in-between category, okay? Because nuts technically can be a protein and a fat, and so that's where you have some leeway when you're choosing your meal. You can kind of like put it in what category you need it. Like if you need a fat for your meal and you already have a protein, you can like use the nuts as your fat, right? Same thing with eggs. If you're eating the yolk, you're going to get some fat from that. If you're just eating whites, then you're going to get just protein, but you're not going to get as much nutrition, as many of those micronutrients, vitamins, and minerals that we talked about from this. And then straight up fats. What do we know?
Dairy? Is that both?
This I'm going to,
Yeah.
dairy is an interesting one. We'll talk about dairy. Okay, what else? Fats. Sugar's gonna go over here. Okay, so fat is like, I mean, butter is a dairy product, but it's like your butter, okay? Your oily salad dressings, your olive oil,
Guacamole,
avocado.
avocado.
That's a fat?
Avocado's a fat. It's a good fat.
Avocado is a healthy fat, though. That's the unsaturated that we talked about.
I love avocado.
So avocado, good. Avocado's awesome for you. You know, this is like your dips, like your mayo and your ranch dip and stuff like that. Nuts, peanut butter, you could consider that a fat.
Where would the potatoes go?
Potatoes are going to go in carbs. That's a starch. Okay, so any potato or root vegetable, anything that grows in the ground, sweet potato, turnips, all that stuff. Even carrots, root vegetable, not as much carb, but that's fruit and veg. Okay, this would be a starchy vegetable. So fats. So again, eggs can be in there if you're doing the yolk. Dairy, if you're doing something like a butter or a cheese, Depending on the, you know, if it's a low fat cheese, you know, every cheese is kind of different. No cheese is the same. Right, so that's gonna be your fatty dairy. Your protein dairy is gonna be like your Greek yogurt. Okay, this is like your unsweetened Greek yogurt, you know, plain, has like 15 grams of protein for like half a cup, right? That's your protein dairy. And then your carb dairy is like